It's fine, we're fine. There's a zucchini coming on this plant here, but you want to see something special to me? I think some of it is pest, I think some of it is me. we got to get out here and stake these tomatoes. Shishito peppers, love it. It's going, it's gone. My marigolds are doing better in this green stock than they are in the garden bed. A whole bunch of peaches on this tree. Good morning, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. And today we are going to do a garden tour. So it was supposed to come out yesterday, which was Friday, but guess what? I took the time to finally clean the back porch. Almost done with that, very excited. The inside of the little like porch shed looks so much better. We have mountains of trash just because over the seasons you just get things and the things you don't need and all that stuff. So I ended up cleaning out the back porch and then also filled up a new green stock. So this is the next color that's coming out along with blueberries. So stay tuned. I will let you know when it releases. I think it is so pretty. I put it right at the beginning of the garden because I just thought it would be so pretty, like to walk into with the yellow and the purple bags, and it did not disappoint, y'all. So I am Asia and I grow in zone 7B in Virginia. I grow in raised beds, I grow in bags, containers also, because I do have pots. I grow in ground and I grow in no dig as well. And then of course, new this year, literally new like last month, I started growing in green stalks and I absolutely love them. So let's just get started. I do have chickens. I do have quail. We're not gonna really talk about those today. We're just gonna do a garden tour. But what I will tell you is I'm gonna do a full video. So with the chicken coop, I have put them on sand. I am probably going to mix in a little bit of pine shaving bedding just because it's been really wet here and the sand inside of the coop is not super dry. But I have been going through with a cat litter scooper every day and grabbing any manure that's in there and taking that out. I'm also gonna put the quail on sand, have not gotten around to that just yet. I do have some baby quail. We're gonna talk about that in a longer video, probably like Monday of next week. Oh, I've covered the run for the chicken, so no more wild birds are getting in and no more berries, because essentially the berries are getting stuck on top of the netting that I have up there. So at this point, I have them on their regular food. I give them some of the brassica leaves out of the shaded bed, and we'll look at the shaded bed as well. And then every other day, I give them their own eggs back. I'm starting to feel more confident that the flock is not sick and the one bird that I lost was sick or just old age. I'm really not sure, right? So let's get started with the garden tour. I hope that you enjoy it. We have made some changes out here. I'm excited about them. And yeah, let's get started. Oh, and I do have two greenhouses. One is more like a polytunnel greenhouse. It is from Quick Tent. And then I have a smaller greenhouse. It is from Vivor, but we will be replacing that soon. And I'm very excited. I think I mentioned that in my last video. So we're gonna look through the greenhouse. Somebody asked me, they said that the plants in the greenhouse were looking very good. Have I gotten a harvest? I have. I've gotten 2 zucchini out there. We have quite a few squash growing, I believe, in the greenhouse. I know there's squash out here growing too. But yeah, I've gotten 2 zucchini out of there. I'm very excited. I'm very happy I decided to do that. But there's even been some changes in the greenhouse. So let's get into this, y'all. So we're gonna start here with the trellis when you come into the garden. So we pulled the peas. They looked really bad. Also, if you've been watching the tours, you know we had trees growing all behind the asparagus. I went ahead and got those trees out of there too. I think I did that yesterday. So now, you know, we have a much cleaner space right here. I am thinking though that I'm going to put some miniature cucumbers on these trellises because they shouldn't go that far up. Now, whether they're gonna get shaded or not, I do not know, but that's my plan. I had gotten miniature cucumbers to put in the purple bags and we sowed those in the last video. I think I'm gonna put some of those at the bottom of these trellises. I just wanna use my space as best as I can. So yeah, on both sides of this trellis, I'm saying trellises, it's the same trellis, it's just hooped. And so I'm gonna put them down at the bottom and see what I get. I am gonna put some more compost down there because I think at the end where this trellis is, the soil kind of tapers off, and so I'm gonna add some more compost there. I also have a few pieces of wood left from when I redid the chicken run or added on to the chicken run. So I may add some wood here just to kind of hold that soil in, because I think when it rains and stuff, it kind of just washes out into the walkway. But we'll do that sometime this week as well. So when you come into my garden, you have a arch trellis. All the way down this arch trellis is grapevine at this point. Not by design. I've said that before. The grapevine just kind of took over, but I absolutely love it. It's like coming into a secret garden because of the way that it's going across the trellis. So I love it. Like I said, this bottom part is bare though, so I want to get something growing there. Right beside that trellis, you have an asparagus bed, which I do believe when I put this straw down so thickly to kill the weeds, it also kind of suppressed the growth of my asparagus, which is fine. Next year, I'm pretty sure it'll come back. It'll do just fine. If not, I'll just start some more seeds, or I'll buy some crowns. When you start asparagus from seed, you have basically 3 years you have to wait to be able to really harvest it. These were all started from seed, well, probably 4 years ago. I didn't have them my first year, so about 4 years ago, so I'm able to harvest off of them. In previous years though, I've gotten really thick stalks, right? But I put, spears. I got really thick spears. But this year I was trying to kill the weeds because it was full of weeds, and I just like smothered it with straw. I think I smothered my plants too. It's okay. It's fine, we're fine. On the other side of that trellis, the snapdragons have really gotten beaten up by the weather. It has rained here for days, y'all. So around the garden, you're gonna notice that I've cut some of them. I did not cut these because they looked okay yesterday, but I'm gonna cut these too, because if you see, there are new sprouts coming out, or blooms, whatever you wanna call them, coming out, buds. So we're gonna cut these and then let them go one more time. Snapdragons are beautiful flowers, but they like cooler weather. And so in the summer, these plants will survive. They'll still be here. They're gonna look really bad, right? But they'll still be here. And when the weather cools, they should start to bloom again. So we're not gonna take them out. We are just gonna cut them down, and we'll have the greenery. And I might get a flower here and a flower there, but they're not gonna be nearly as nice as they were, early spring. We're still having spring weather. Y'all see this sweatshirt, this hoodie, whatever you want to call it? Girl, it's chilly out here. It's chilly out here. So beside this snapdragon, you have some calendula, and I have been harvesting the calendula every morning. I want this for body care, skin care, and so I've been harvesting it every morning. You still have some smaller calendula down here that I planted recently. There's watermelon in this bed as well. So if you can see all the way down the line, there's watermelon. And I have a cage essentially around it so that when this watermelon starts to kind of vine like crazy, it doesn't go into my walkway. There's also marigolds down here. They're not growing that fast, but they're still alive. Plants look good, flowers look good. There are nasturtium, beautiful, beautiful nasturtium down here. I like nasturtium for eating, but I also like nasturtium for looking at it. I think it's just beautiful. There's more calendula, marigolds, calendula, and a snapdragon down here. There's also a small hollyhock down there. So we're letting that get its footing and get established, because hollyhocks do come back, I believe, biennial. I said that before, and a couple people said, plant them every year. I don't have space for that. So I plant them when I can, but I don't have space to just plant a bunch of hollyhocks so that they could come back every year. I just plant them the year that they have died out. That's what I do. It works for me in my garden because I don't have that kind of space. And then in the back, we have zinnias. And we have one that's about to open. I think zinnias are beautiful flowers. This will probably be the first one of the season, but they go all the way down the line. Some were planted later than others. The one that I just showed you was planted early, and so was this one that also has a bud. Now those zinnias are being shaded. Actually, this whole bed is being shaded by the grapevine. I was looking at it yesterday and I was like, it was probably around 2 or 3 o'clock. and it was shaded. And I was like, wow, that's not a good thing. And watermelon, I'm pretty sure are full sun, but we're gonna leave it, see what happens this year. The nasturtiums are doing fine, so are the calendula. So this may end up being a flower bed. I love having flowers in my gardens, and I could take them in the house, use them as cut flowers. So for me, not a big deal. Yes, I still do really want to grow watermelon, but at this point, I don't have anywhere else to put them. And so when I say the grapevine is shading it, you can see right above that whole bed is grapevine, and I may go through and just kind of chop some of the ones that are coming out, the branches that are coming out off of the grapevine, but the grape flowers or clusters are starting to open. So the difference, this one is still closed, these are still open. And so those are all throughout this grapevine. If I am lucky and all of these flowers actually give me grapes, y'all, I'm gonna have way more grapes than I need. But my plan is I'm gonna make some jam. I did that last year, or jelly, whichever one it is. It was absolutely delicious. We loved it. And so you can see right now, we're getting wild, trying to get into the orchard area. So this is a daisy here. They've started to flower. I think they're absolutely beautiful. So of course, we are going to do the orchard portion from the outside. If you look in there, you can see the feverfew is starting to flower too. So it's just like really pretty, really bushy, like I wanted it to be, but really kind of hard to get through here. And I'm definitely going to chop right here. So down here, you have lemon balm. If you remember, we had harvested that lemon balm. It came back. So we'll be harvesting that soon too. We have a lemon mint right here that I still never cut down. I'm pretty sure this is, oh, that's a part of it too. The baby chickens, not babies, I just call them my babies. So they're over here saying good morning. I don't know where Peace is, but Peace is never really with, you know, all of this. She don't do all that running and coming to see me. I think she's in the coop though. She's a very pretty chicken. So anyway, let's get back to the garden tour. I said we weren't doing that today. All right, so right across from the grapevine, the bed I just showed you, the herbs and the flowers, we have tomatoes that are in 7-gallon grow bags. They're in 7-gallon grow bags. I keep getting that question. All of my bags are 7-gallon. The black bags are 7-gallon, and so are the purple. The early girls are still putting out tomatoes. Pretty sure these are pretty much starting to blush. There's some more down there. I think that bigger one is starting to blush. So the early girls are looking good. This is one of the tomato groups that I got trellised up. The rest of them I still have not gotten trellised up. There's one more that I did, but the rest of them still untrellised, which is gonna end up being a problem for me if I don't get my butt out here and do it. But we have tomato flowers everywhere, so that's exciting. They are everywhere. Oh, look, I just noticed that this is the Black Beauty. It's not in the best spot for this to be a very black tomato, but it's looking like it might be. But either way, I know based on what you all told me, it's not in the best spot because it gets shady a little bit over here kind of early in the day. So I'm not expecting that tomato to be super black. The ones that I'm expecting to be black are over on the other side of the garden. The tomatoes are looking good. Some of them have, you know, kind of leaned over. We had a storm last night. Also, why this video is not from Friday, it's on Saturday, because the weather has just been so fickle, and it will say no rain, but then it will be drizzling, or it'll say it's supposed to be raining and it won't be raining. So today was a good day, and I said I'm just gonna hold off so I don't have to run in and out of the house to do this garden tour, because they already take about an hour to record. Those are the tomatoes, and right beside those tomatoes is getting a little packed in this area, right? But anyway, we could go ahead and talk about the peppers. So y'all know my peppers were aphid ridden when I put them outside, but they're looking really good. Like this one I need to stake, but we also have peppers starting to grow on it. So I need to attach it to this stake that I put in because it's leaning over. But like this one is very small. I would prefer it not to have a bloom on it, but I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let these peppers do what they're gonna do, right? But they look real good, you know, nice and green. Some of them are smaller than others, but most of my peppers have flowers on them. Most of them have flowers, and I should be getting peppers soon. When the weather warms up, I'm pretty sure they're just gonna get better, right? But we are still in spring here in Virginia, and normally our springs turn into summer, but that has not happened this year. I can't say I'm upset about it because it does give the plants more time to kind of get established before it gets too hot, before the bugs move in. But yeah, y'all, end of May, almost June, we're still having chilly nights like low 50s, and that's not normally how our weather is. It's just not. Right above those peppers, we have the blueberries that I have been harvesting, and we still have a lot of blueberries that we are waiting to turn or that have turned, and I just want to make sure that they are as ripe as they can be, and they are covered by tulle. This is just something that I got from the fabric store. It's not like anything for plants specifically. It's things that you make clothes out of or that you make some type of, you know, something out of. That's all that this is, and I have it secured down here with a little clamp. And that's how they're covered. Nothing special going on with the way they're covered, but all of these blueberries are from Lowe's. They are all in ground, and they do amazingly. At the beginning of spring, I fertilize them with Hollytone because blueberries like acidic soil. And why do I use Hollytone? Only because when I first started gardening, I watched a video. That's what the person was using. It has worked, and so I have not changed it. And I get a good amount of blueberries every year. And as long as I cover them, the birds don't eat them, and I get to eat them. Once I get everything I want, though, I uncover them and I do share with the birds. But first, I want to get what I want. Right across from the blueberries is another bed, and it has squash or zucchini in it. And you can see, like I said, we had a storm last night, so they're kind of bent over and stuff. But we have, I'm pretty sure that's a zucchini. So we have a zucchini coming on that plant. There's a zucchini coming on this plant here. If I push it back a little bit, you can see the other things that are in this bed. So down this line, you have an aster there. You have a basil. I can't think of the name of it, but it's a very pretty basil. It grows in a bush. I need to cut it. As I understand it, the more you cut it, the bushier it gets. There's another pepper plant down here, and my peppers are doing better in the bed this year. I've mentioned that. There's another basil in here as well, and then another aster. There's also another squash or zucchini plant in here, and there's also some tomatoes in this bed. I just recently planted those. I'm gonna get some wooden stakes to stake these. Well, this one. And then there's one over here too that volunteered right here. Like I said, storm, so everything's like kind of bent over and laid down, but I will get out here to take care of that. I think that this is a very pretty bed. Like once the squash comes out, you're going to be able to see all of these plants will have tomatoes in the middle, and I think it's going to be beautiful. So that, oh, there are also hollyhocks back here too. But squash take up a lot of space, and they kind of will bully a bed due to the size of their leaves. So like that's my hand and that's a leaf, but they've done really well. This one has a little bit of yellow going on it, but I think it's gonna be fine. The plant itself looks really good. Right behind this bed is the strawberry bed, and I recently went through and harvested the strawberries, but we have a few more flowers coming in, so we'll get some more strawberries. Like I said, you got the squash zucchini. Is this zucchini? Coming over here too. Let's try to pull it back over a little bit. Anyway, there's flowers, y'all. There's quite a few flowers in here, but I basically harvested everything, even if it wasn't good for eating. Harvested it, gave it to the chickens just so that the plants can keep on producing new flowers. But that bed looks good. Again, I still don't know what happened right here. I'm honestly thinking when they took down the shed, this is where they were kind of throwing stuff, and I think that's what happened. Look at the zucchini plant. Look at the zucchini plant, y'all. Over here we have some more tomatoes, and they have been pushed back or pushed down by the storm too. Like this one goes over here, but it's my fault because I have not staked them. And this one I was saying I didn't know if I was going to stake anyway, this group, because it also has determinate tomatoes in it. But the tomatoes are looking good, y'all. They looking good. I just got to get my honey out here. I keep saying that, and get them staked up. It's really that simple. And I'm going to do that this week. Not staked. I use the Florida weave-ish And that's what I need to come out here and do. But they look good. Oh, look at that. I don't know what kind of tomato it is, but it's giving me a truss of tomatoes starting to grow. And these bamboo stakes are not the best if you're growing indeterminate tomatoes, y'all. I just want to put that out there so you don't go buy a whole, well, especially in bags. So you don't go buy a whole bunch of them thinking that's the only thing you're gonna need. When these plants get heavy, it's not gonna do anything for them. I learned that like my second season in gardening. I was like, oh, I'll go get some bamboo stakes. By the way, if you have a Tractor Supply near you, they have the nice wooden stakes. So normal price, you can get 5 for $7.99. My store had them on clearance for $5.99. So you get 5 for $5.99, but they were all gone. Then I went to another store, nothing was on clearance, and they didn't have the stakes. But if you're looking for them, try Tractor Supply, because that was a good price, in my opinion. I should have got them when they were $7.99, just trying to be cheap. Right behind those tomatoes I just showed you, this is the Shady garden that I told you I've been feeding the chickens out of. So I've been pulling off leaves. The leaves look bad anyway, but the chickens don't mind having, you know, the bugs. They like it. It's good for them. But the Swiss chard still looks good. However, it's starting to kind of go straight up. So I'm thinking it's probably about to bolt. I don't know. We shall see. But we have Swiss chard in another spot in the garden that does not look like this. It looks really good. Like I said, this is a shady spot, and I've been pulling off leaves and giving them to the chickens. So a part of their diet right now is the leaves from out here. I'm only really giving them their food. I'm also giving them hot peppers. They don't taste the heat, but it is good for them. I'm also giving them oregano and thyme as well. So I think I'm slowly, you know, making sure that they are good. I feel comfortable with them. Also giving them water. They have 3-gallon waters, but I'm refreshing the water every week, right? So if they have not drank it all, it also has apple cider vinegar in it. So I'm trying to, as Heather from Sage Stone told me, treat from the inside out. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm making sure that I put my apple cider vinegar with the mother in their water, and then, you know, the other things to treat from the inside out. They all look really good. I did have one that was also looking like, you know, something was wrong with her, but I think that this is helping. So it's more preventative, I think, than, like, I think I should be doing this all the time. It is preventative to give them these things. Also keeping the wild birds out. Great idea. All right, back to the garden tour. I got a lot I want to talk about because y'all, these chickens had me so nervous. Around the bed I just showed you, there's plantain. Plantain I started last year. It came back growing in a very shady spot. Like, this is one of the shadiest spots in the garden. It's growing really good. You have mullein down here in some of the bags, right? I think we had marjoram here. It died, so I need to replace that. We also have some yarrow. Definitely gonna grow slower because it's in the shade. And then you have Swiss chard here as well. This is the St. John's wort that we moved out of the quick tech greenhouse. And then these beets, I'm still letting them grow, y'all. But you want to see something special to me? That's a beet. I am finally growing beets. Now that's a small beet, y'all, but that is the best beet I've ever grown. So I'm just leaving it right now to see if I can get a whole beet out of this bag. This one is bulbing a little bit too, not as well as the other one, but it's bulbing. And beet greens are delicious, just so you know. Oh my God, y'all. These are the overwintered peppers. I feel like I probably should have just put them in the sun. I was trying to see if shade was okay, because right here you get sun in the morning on this side. But they look terrible. And how you putting out flowers, baby? You ain't got no leaves. But it's okay. We ain't gonna talk too much about it. But just so you know, these are my overwinter peppers that I probably should have just put in the sun. And I still can, just need to figure out a space. One of the good things about growing in bags is you can move them. And so I may do that. And so, all right, this is the blueberries. So we talked about the blueberries. The bed behind the blueberries is looking really, really good, y'all. So we have a pepper plant. These are 2 pepper plants that someone gave me. They look a little bit beat up, but they don't look bad. There's an eggplant that's absolutely being eaten up by flea beetles. There's calendula in this bed. marigolds. This marigold looks like it's about to start growing. Marigolds get huge, right? But there's a whole bunch of blooms on it, so I think that's about to get big and start growing. Happy to see that. There's more peppers in this bed. There is basil, purple opal basil, and I'm just happy to see that it's still all the way purple. A lot of times mine will turn green, so I'm excited about that. This was another purple opal basil, and it died, so that's why I want to get some things going in the greenhouse just to be ready to replace it, because now this is space that could be used for some other plant, but I don't have another plant. There's a volunteer tomato in here that I just never pulled, but it seems to be growing. And these are peppers back here as well, pepper right here, and then a marigold in the middle. Another purple opal basil. We got a squash or zucchini in here. I just kind of threw them all in my bed, y'all. I'm not lying. Another pepper in there. Beautiful nasturtium. Like, that plant is absolutely beautiful. And that has red flowers on it. And then a really big calendula is back there too. Honestly think that's 2 plants. There's one in the bed, and then there's one that I planted down on the ground. So that's why it looks so big, but it's actually 2 plants. And I need to come out here and harvest. It's about 7 something in the morning right now. So I have, you know, some time to get those. And it looks really pretty. On the back, you can see the cucumbers and the cantaloupe have reached the trellis. We even have a flower over there on that cucumber. Let's go on the other side, y'all. So see, we have some flowers coming in. So I'm excited. I think these are cucumbers. Anyway, we got flowers. Everything has reached the trellis. All the way down the line, everything has reached the trellis. I'm excited. Very, very excited about that. If you are new here and you're seeing compost on the top and you're like, what is that? My heavy feeders, I am feeding them with compost every so often. I want to say I'm doing about every 2 or 3 weeks whenever I get to it. But yeah, that's what I'm doing because I am planting so densely. There's a lot of things in these beds. I want to make sure that they have enough nutrition so that they all can grow. That's what I'm doing. This bed is beautiful. This bed is always really beautiful. I don't know what the difference is from this block bed to the other block beds, although they're doing really good this summer too. Y'all know I have struggled in the summer with the block beds. They're doing really good this year. I did do the chicken bedding or manure once it had composted down, so that could have something to do with it. Also giving the heavy feeders the compost this year. So it's doing really good. It's doing really good. Also, I'm going to apologize for the noise. I don't know if y'all can hear it or not, but we got a truck being started up. We got a train growing right now, and the wind is blowing. So right behind that bed and around this green stalk, by the way, we're not super even here anymore because I had to move some bags because this green stalk would have shaded it during the day, because my sun comes from over here, right? I also need to think about getting these trees cut back, the limbs cut back just a little bit. Eventually, thankfully, the sun is higher in the sky. But like in the fall, I don't think this is gonna be good. But the good thing is fall vegetables can take a little bit of shade. I still think I need to get that cut back. Probably should have did it before I put the top on the chicken coop, well, the netting on the chicken run, but you know, we'll see. And so now I think we got trash pickup coming through. If y'all can hear, I'm sorry. I don't think it's gonna last too much longer, but yeah, y'all, it's loud out here. Noisy! So when you come into my garden, you have these 7-gallon purple bags from Bootstrap Farmer. There's a link in the description. So there's a link for these Bootstrap Farmer bags. There's a link for the green stalks. There's a link for the greenhouses. So if you're ever like watching my video and you see something, chances are it's a link in that description box, or there's a link somewhere in some other description box. So if you're looking for it, I try to link everything that I can, right? I try to. Anywho, so we have these purple bags. Right now, they have sunflowers that I transplanted earlier this week, right? But there's also beans in these bags. So there's beans in the bags closer to the front, and then in the back there are zucchini and cucumber, miniature zucchini, miniature cucumbers. At this point though, we're also gonna have some beans down here. Actually, I can move them so that they are in the front with the rest of the beans, because these bags were from the beginning of the garden and they had beans beans in them. But if you remember, we transplanted these without any true leaves. So over the week, we have true leaves growing in now. So I'm excited about that. And that's going down the bags now. We do have some bags that have been getting some pests. So like the true leaves are gone here and right here. They're trying to eat this one. But for the most part, they all look really good. And I'm just waiting to see the beans and the other things pop up in these bags. And I put 2 beans per bag. Someone did say they do like 3 or 4 per bag. I'm gonna leave it with 2 just because it's in my walkway and the walkway is gonna end up being really bushy, and beans are somewhat fragile plants if you ask me, and so I don't want them to be getting hit and things like that and then getting broken. So thank you for that information though, because I could do it in other bags and not have them in the walkway. So we shall see. Oh, I want to show y'all something. Y'all remember not too long ago I showed y'all my somewhat failing onion? Kind of bounced back. That's gonna be a nice onion, you know, to make, well, with a steak or something. I ain't gonna be able to do too much with it, but that onion looks good. Then we have another one over here, and it's kind of small, but it bulbed. My whole thing is, do I not know how to grow onions? Is it pest? Like, what is going on? And these 2 grew and they bulbed, so I think some of it is pest, I think some of it is me. All right, so I showed you the purple beds. We're gonna go and move into the beds now. So like I said, we cut down some of the snapdragons, any of them that looked really bad, but like, see right here, you'll get new ones. But as I said, they don't really love the heat. So once it gets hot out here, they're gonna stop producing anyway. Trying to push that in there. But so you have a marigold down here. Looks like it's probably about to get started with life. We love that because they've been kind of stunted. All of my marigolds have been kind of stunted. This is another one here. The second round of beans are starting to catch up with the first round of beans. So the beans that you see in the front, I planted about 2 weeks later than the beans you see in the back. But the beans in the back have started to flower. So we're excited. We're gonna start seeing some beans soon. They look really good though. They look really good. Now I normally pull my plants, like I do not cut at the base because my garden never gets the rest, the soil never gets the rest. At a point my beds were root bound, and so I normally will just pull. The beans I'm more than likely going to cut because as I understand it, beans give back nitrogen to the soil. As long as they have the little nodules on the roots, then it's going to give nitrogen back to the soil. So this will probably be the only thing that I cut instead of pull, but that's my plan this year. That is my plan this year because I'm also trying to work on the soil in these beds. It looks like I may have done okay this year because everything is actually like growing and flourishing in the larger block beds. Beside those beans, we have a calendula plant. It's looking kind of like stringy and leggy, but it's giving me some calendula. Now I could cut this back and see, like right here, we're getting new plants right here. So when these flower, I could cut right here. So the plant would get less like leggy looking or long looking, but I would still get some flowers out of it. Behind that, I have put in some of those volunteer tomatoes. They do not look good right now. But like I said, we're gonna get some stakes because the plan is once these zucchini, this is actually squash, and you can see a squash down there. Once these squash die out, we'll already have a tomato growing, and it'll basically take the space of the squash. Oh, there's also some nasturtium down here. There's marigold down here. It's a chance that all of this is getting shaded. It's probably all getting shaded because these plants are very big. By the way, we got another squash in there. There's one right here. Pretty sure it didn't get pollinated, but we got a squash in there too. And back here, that is our collard tree, but I'm not growing it for actual food. Actually, I've been pulling those leaves off too and giving them to the chickens because the leaves are actually shading other things that's in the bed. Back here, we have some snapdragons. I didn't cut these yesterday because they didn't look bad at all. This is a part of this tomato because we haven't staked it, baby. We got to get out here and stake these tomatoes. Let's push it back a little bit. Oh, broke it. That's crazy. but we can probably fix that. We can save it. Anyway, there's also zinnias back here, as well as lupin. So what I'm thinking is once this squash comes out, this stuff will start to grow a little bit better. It's just being shaded. There's 2 lupin back here, actually. It's just being shaded. This zinnia said I'm coming. So that one looks fine, and I never did clip them, y'all. But back there, that's what we have. There's also a calendula over there. You would never know it, though. Give me 1 second. I gotta check on that tomato, y'all. It's one of my black beauties, and I do not want to lose that plant. I do not want to lose that plant. Somebody told me a little while ago, they was like, oh, your garden is so neat this year. You can see where you walking. I said, for now. Oh, yeah, we're going to be fine to save this. Sorry about the angle of the camera, but got to pull this back up. But we'll be able to save it. It didn't break. For now, I'm just gonna lay it like that so that there's still connection right here, because this is where it broke. This is where it turned into a 2-liter, and there was no stake to support this side of the liter. And these tomatoes are indeterminate. And when you see indeterminate on a package, or you hear someone say indeterminate, it just means the tomato plant is going to keep growing until you take it out, until some disease takes it out, until some pest takes it out. It's just gonna keep growing. If you have watched James Prigioni, he has tomatoes that go so far up the stake that sometimes he has to get a ladder to get them. Like, they're just gonna keep growing. And when you have tomatoes like that, they have to be staked. If you're in a small space like me, they can grow on the ground. They absolutely can, but you're gonna think about pests and disease and things like that. And because I'm in a small space, I absolutely don't have space for them to just kind of grow all over the ground. So that's why I stake them. But I didn't do the trellising yet. So there's that. Back to this bed. I've shown you everything in the back. On this side, you have some smaller nasturtiums that I planted just recently. But then these are the nasturtiums that were planted before the last frost here. And they look amazing. I think they're just beautiful plants and beautiful flowers. I love how bushy they get. Like my plan, I wanted them all the way around this bed. Now, I don't know if that's gonna happen because we will be getting hot soon. And nasturtiums will go through the heat. They just might not look the best. Also, pests definitely eat them up really good. Back here, we have some tromboncino squash. These look a little bit yellow. I probably need to give them a dose of maybe some fish fertilizer, but there's 2 of them back here. They've both reached the trellis. I do come out and kind of give them the trellis so that they know where they're supposed to be going. There's a small sunflower that I volunteered, but I have not been giving it additional fertilizer or compost, and they are heavy feeders. So that might have something to do why it looks so spindly. And like I said, there's also a calendula back here. All right, in the middle of the 2 block beds, you have pepper plants. And like this small pepper plant is trying to give me some peppers. I do believe this is a habanada, I think, but it's really small. Those plants are small, not that small. And they just throw off a whole bunch of peppers, so it does need to grow a little bit more. I may give that some fish emulsion as well. There's another one back here. I'm pretty sure that's a habanada, so it looks better than this one. We do have a little bit of holes in the leaves, not really sure where they're coming from. Doesn't matter, the plant is growing and it's flowering. You have another little small one here, also think that's a habanada. This one got really tall. I don't know what it is yet because it hasn't started producing. Well, it has. It is some type of, now I didn't plant any actual green peppers, so I need to go back and look at my book. It looks like a green pepper, but I hope not, because I didn't plant none. I don't like them. There you have another one here giving me peppers also, so that's exciting. I honestly think this is a shishito. I'm very excited. Shishito peppers grow like this, like really bushy. Oh, look. Yep, shishito peppers, love it. And then I think this is a banana pepper back here in front of that green stalk. We're gonna talk about the green stalks closer to the end. We're gonna go through all of them closer to the end. So yeah, the peppers are looking good. So as I always say, don't freak out. Don't freak out if you got like aphids. I mean, you can. You definitely want to try to do something if you can. I squish them with my hand. I, you know, sprayed them with water to get them off of the plants so that the plants could survive long enough to get out into the garden, because once they got outside, they started to get established, and that's basically what I do. Now, next year, I may not fertilize them as much, and I also fertilize with fish emulsion. A lot of people have been saying, you know, like additional or too much nitrogen will bring on aphids. So I'm gonna test that theory, because I do fertilize with fish emulsion when they are smaller, like when they're seedlings. I do it at a very diluted rate, but maybe I'm not diluting it enough. In the next block bed, you have some more snapdragons. I cut them down, but you can see new blooms coming. Front of that bed, you have nasturtiums. We still have that onion that went to seed up here too. I think they're beautiful. But once these flowers turn, well, inside the flowers essentially is the seed pod. So I want to keep the seeds from this, which is why it's the one lone onion still in the bed. If you remember, we're supposed to have some, ground cherries here. They still have not come up. So we're going to put something else there. I haven't seen any ground cherries yet. There's a calendula here. And then if you remember, I was telling y'all, these are running nasturtiums, like you could put them on a trellis, but I didn't know that. So I'm just moving them so that they go around the bed. And so we'll have a pretty little group of like nasturtiums going all the way around the bed, but it really will only be 2 plants on this side. So I like that idea. Right here, you have the second round of beans catching up with the ones in the back. And just like in the other bed, you have flowers growing, and I love that. So we'll have beans coming out here soon. Another calendula plant, like I said, gonna cut this down once I get the flowers that are already starting to bud and open. I have a sunflower here that I need to put on the trellis because in the storm, it kind of got bent up. You also have cucumbers down here that have reached the trellis. You can see we have a cucumber right there. And then this is a random gourd that I'm growing for fun. In the back, you have Swiss chard back there, and there's also zinnias in there. You can see that one zinnia popping his head out, but there's actually 2 back there. And there's more squash or zucchini. Now, there don't seem to be any squash or zucchini actually growing or pollinated, because you can see there's one there, but it didn't get pollinated. Also, this is a part of my cucumber that needs to be put on the trellis. Let's bring her on over here so she can grow up the trellis. So I just sit them there, and eventually they'll grab onto the trellis, y'all. Oh, there's a basil in here. There's basil in the other bed in the same spot too, and I had taken off the top, and so that's growing a bit better too. So it was a really small plant when I put it in, and it's looking real good now. This is the one in the other bed, if you can see it. Everything got so big and so lush so quickly. Basil also likes like really warm weather. So with that being said, we really haven't had a lot of warm weather. We had like a week, maybe a week and a half, where we were in the high 80s, some days maybe in the 90s, I think. But then we went back to spring, y'all. We went back to spring. I also put a tomato in there. If you see it right there, that's a tomato. Need to stake it. When these die out, you'll have that tomato in the bed right there. Now, I don't know what that tomato is because it's something that volunteered. We still have quite a few of those volunteers. And at this point, I'm just kind of dropping them in the beds where I can, especially by the zucchini and especially by the squash, because I know they're going to die out soon. On the other side of that bed, we have another running or trellising nasturtium that I'm just moving to where I want it to go. This one keeps wanting to go to the trellis. You see, it's attached to the trellis right there. I just pull it off because I don't want it to go up the trellis. This trellis actually has my honey boat squash on it, and I love honey boat squash, y'all. I love it. And so that's what I want to go up this trellis. There's a small one back there. I think it's being shaded, and that's fine because we got 2 more up here and the plants look good. Right beside that bed, you have some more peppers. Now the 3 up here, I actually moved them up here. I don't know what's going on with them. Planning to hit them with some fish emulsion because they look light green as well. With them being small, they also look light green. So this is a sweet banana. So don't know why it's looking like that. This is a shishito pepper. Come on, I love shishito peppers. And this is a habanada. So we're gonna work on these 3, but the ones in the back, well, they're now in the back. They look good. And I'm getting flowers and I'm getting peppers. I don't know what this is. It's definitely not shishito, but they have peppers on them. And so they're looking good. Very, very happy to see how well these plants are looking in the back. And we are going to work on these in the front. These are my worst looking ones, and I honestly don't know why. Right beside those peppers, you have our bed with our purple potted pole beans. I did harvest just a few because it's that time of the year where you get a small harvest. You're not getting like the big ones yet, but there are beans everywhere on this plant and well, on this trellis. And so I'm excited. We got a whole bunch of flowers too. So I hope you can see that. Yeah. Whole bunch of flowers. It's reached the top of the trellis. But once my honey boat squash start to grow, they'll just meet each other, and I'm okay with that. So it looks really good over here. We have this sunflower, but I need to put it on the trellis. The storm knocked that over too. I just need to pick it up and tie it to the trellis. It's gonna be a big sunflower. Under that sunflower, you have some more calendula. Like I said, you're not seeing a lot of open flowers because I am harvesting them and drying them. It's literally a part of my skincare regimen now. I need it. This is a random squash or a zucchini or something that volunteered. Don't know what it is. I just left it there, but it's growing pretty good, so I ain't gonna mess with it. Another calendula going out into the walkway. So you'll see a lot of stuff is going into the walkway here. I don't really use it because the green stalk is back there, so that doesn't bother me. I just kind of walk through here and walk around to get to the back of the garden, the other tomatoes and the flower bed. There's also a nasturtium over here as well. Oh, random marigold, but my marigold's just not doing well this year. Okay, in the front of this bed, so that's the calendula I showed you. We have an aster over here. We have a calendula. We have some basil, and we have a pepper plant. Oh, also some volunteer borage. That's still all over this garden, y'all. Anyway, I think it gets shaded. I think this area gets shaded, and it's okay. There are corn. There's corn doing really good back here. So if I don't get that, I'm not gonna be upset. The corn is doing really good, and you can see the beans are starting to go up the stake, like they're going up that stake now. They had wrapped around the corn as well in some spots, but that was the whole thing. The beans would wrap around the corn, go up the corn, that kind of thing. But it's looking really good, y'all. Now, what I am seeing is this. I need to look it up because I'm not really sure what it is. Chances of me doing anything is slim, but I would like to know what it is, if it's a good thing. Well, not a good thing. If it's a problem for my plant. If it's not, then no big deal. I still haven't come through and just put them on string. I'm going to do that this week too. Same time I'm getting these tomatoes taken care of, I'm going to take care of this corn. There's some random squash and zucchini plants down here. I don't think they're gonna do anything. They were extras, so I just decided to plant them. But there's winter squash in there too. Might not do anything either because I got them planted in between them after the corn was really big. So not a big deal, but the corn is looking real good. I'm very excited about that. Before we move to the back, we're gonna look at the rest of the beds on this side of the garden. Right beside the bed I just showed you, we have some tomatoes in 7-gallon bags. This area does get shaded, so these tomatoes don't look like the other tomatoes I've shown you, but it's okay. These are Sungo's tomatoes, giving me trusses of tomatoes, so I'm excited to see that. And then this is that Isis candy. Look at it, y'all. This is not good for my area. This tomato is just not good for my area. And I think that I'm going to take this as a lesson learned. But we do have a few blooms on it, so I maybe we'll get to try it. But I definitely think that tomato is going to go out before any other tomato in this garden this year. It always does, actually. There's a Vigo garden bed back here that's just a bunch of stuff. That potato volunteered on its own. I did put the zinnia in here. And then there's a zinnia down here that had gotten eaten up a little bit. There's borage in here. There's random onions I never pull. That borage is going to turn into a huge borage. Watch what I tell you. But my plan, oh, more borage right there. This all volunteered. So the thing is, my plan here is once this bed is cleared, I am going to move my lavender here. My lavender is currently in my orchard area and it's just being shaded. The orchard, if you're not a huge plant in there, or if you're not a herb like a oregano or a thyme or a comfrey, you're not gonna survive in there, or a rosemary. So I'm gonna move my lavender here and see what happens once this bed is finished. So once those tomatoes are finished, once I may move my zinnia. Who knows what I might do with that? But or I might leave the zinnias and put the lavender in here. I don't know, but that's the plan. The lavender will be here by the end of the season. Behind that Vigo garden bed, these tomatoes get shaded even more than the ones I just showed you, but I still do get tomatoes from back here every year, so I still plant them. But these are indeterminate tomatoes back here as well. And then right beside that, I met a subscriber. She gave me some lettuce, so we have lettuce back here. Another shady spot. I had put borage back here and look at it, y'all. Big and gonna take over. Borage just gonna grow. And we got this one that's about to start flowering. All of the borage that you see, it came from a volunteer. It just popped up in my garden and I moved it. And that's where you're seeing all of this borage from. I did not start one borage seed this year, not one. And then back here, you still have some brassicas. I feed these to the chickens as well. It's a shady spot, and so I just don't get good harvest out of this in the summer for actual summer plants. This year, I decided, let me see if I can grow some cool loving plants in these shady areas, and it seems to be working out. Now, borage is not a cool loving or shady loving plant. It just seems to grow anyway. And we have the other blueberry over here. I did eat a couple of blueberries off of here. They were easier to get to than the ones that's under the tool, and the birds have not for some reason eaten them. I guess they haven't seen them. I'm not sure, but yeah, we have blueberries that's growing too, so I'm excited. On the front of that bed you have some calendula. Oh, the dill I went ahead and harvested, but I left the plant. I don't know why, I just did. There's a nasturtium. This dill right here, I'm gonna let it go to seed. Now I harvested this and this is growing again. So maybe I will learn something new about dill, because I harvested all of the dill leaves off of this and just left the plant. But this one I left because I wanted to go to seed so I can get the seeds. But oh, look at that, y'all. Right there, you got another one growing too. So let's see if I can show you. Yeah, so maybe I'll just leave this dill, the plant, and see what happens. But yeah, a bunch of calendula down here too. By the way, remember I was telling y'all this just kind of pops up all over my garden? My neighbor cut the trees off of this fence line right here. They're all of our trees. They're my trees, they're her trees. And she had cut some, I cut some. And when I got up there to look, I'm pretty sure it's a blackberry. I could see the whole bush in between that tree. So it's just spreading in between the fence. So it's just spreading into my garden. I'm still cutting it because I don't want it. But yeah, that's what that is. So on this trellis, this was a volunteer squash or whatever that volunteered. I moved it here, just want to see what happens. This right here is a cucumber that's not doing well at all, probably because it's in the shade, but I have cucumbers in other places. This is a cucumber. That one is doing fine. And then there's one down there. That baby is going. It's gone. Gone. Anyway, oh, I put my other wind chime back up. I found it when I was cleaning out the shed thing on my porch. So I put my other wind chime back up. I love wind chimes. Right across from the bed I just showed you, you have a bed with some more volunteer squash or whatever they are. Beautiful flower, beautiful flower. I'm not seeing the actual fruit yet, so I don't know what it is. I'm just waiting to see the fruit to see if it's something that I know or if it ended up getting cross-pollinated. I don't know, because I don't know what it is. I do know it tendrils, so could be, let me think. It could be tromboncino squash. It could be that squash that I grew here last year. Now, these did not volunteer here. They volunteered over in the Vigo garden bed and I moved them. So it could be that squash that I grew. I can't remember the name of it. It could be anything. But there's 2 of them in this bed because I thought they were cucumbers. But there is a cucumber in here. I just needed to get further up the trellis and then I think that it'll grow just fine. And we have some little cucumbers on it. So long as it gets a little bit further up the trellis so that these don't shade it out, I think that it'll be fine. And I think that that will happen. I think that that will happen. And then remember I told you there's a calendula down here that's a part of the one that we're looking at in that bed. That calendula is down there too. And I am not complaining because I need all that calendula. And then the last thing that's in that bed is this sunflower. It volunteered. I put it in this bed and then I have attached it to the trellis. So we also have a little flower looking like it wants to come out. Now I'm not sure if that's like one of the big ones and I'm only gonna get one sunflower off of it. I don't know. I didn't plant it and it's okay. It's okay. It's a beautiful flower that was given to me. So in the back here, you see the snapdragon bed. We have an aster in here. Not sure why it's still so small. Oh, 1 second. In the back of the bed with the corn, you have some roselle. I don't know how well it's gonna do. I didn't expect that corn to get so big so fast, but there's roselle. I can move this. I am thinking of moving it into the greenhouse. It's gonna be really hot in the greenhouse. They like the heat, so I haven't decided, but that's what I'm thinking. Back to the snapdragon bed or flower bed. Sedum back here. We cut a lot of the snapdragon yesterday. This is one that should have been cut, but I didn't cut it. But yeah, you can see it's not nearly as lush and beautiful as it was, and that's okay. But look at here, look at here, look at here. Echinacea. I started this from seed, I don't know, probably 3 years ago. It comes back. So echinacea is one of those plants you can use the roots, you can use, I'm pretty sure, the leaves and the flowers. I haven't done either. I think I have harvested them, but I never actually used them. True story. Oh, the butterfly flower has opened. Milkweed, whatever we're calling it. I don't know. Y'all, it's so many lizards out here. I could just hear them moving around while I'm doing this tour. They are everywhere, which does not bother me. As long as it's not a snake, it does not bother me. But you can also see down here, you have some an aster plant. That's what this is here. There's another one right there. But yeah, the snapdragons are coming to an end, at least the blooms. But they were beautiful while they lasted. Just beautiful while they lasted. And my plan here is to get some more flower seeds started, but I'm gonna have to let them get pretty tall or very established before I put them out, because I don't plan to take the snapdragons out. I just plan to cut them down. And right across from the snapdragons, you have all the rest of those tomatoes. And so if you remember, I told you that the Brad's Atomic Grape was starting to show up, and they're looking real good. Right, this one right here, this is, I want to say, a black cherry. I broke it when I was transplanting it. That's why it's so far behind. But all I did was stick it in the bag. The part that I broke, stuck it in the bag, made sure the bag stayed wet, and the plant still grew, because that's how tomatoes work. Pretty sure this is a black cherry right here too. So we got tomatoes starting to come in. So excited about that. This is a part of that tomato right here, and in the storm and me not trellising them, but it's okay. We're gonna get around to it. This is a potato from the green stalk. Yeah, it's laying everywhere, y'all, but I do know it will grow. These are more tomatoes, but we just gotta stake them. That's it, and that is all, y'all. That is my fault. Trellis them. That is my fault, and that's just me not wanting to do it right now because they are too big. But I have to, because other than that, all of my work will go to waste. All of my work will be for naught. All right, let's look at the green stalks. Then we're going in the greenhouse, and then we'll be done. All right, so this is our pink green stalk. By the way, if you are wanting the pink or the purple, the last day is June the 2nd. The pink and the purple, or the pink and the lilac, go away after June 2nd, just so everybody knows. The green stalk is looking good. This is the one where we have the purple rain tomatoes in, and if you've been watching the garden tours, you can tell these tomatoes are growing. They were pretty small when I put them in. It's another one here, another one here, another one here. So I have learned, that you must put the things that are, I guess, going to be bigger closer to the bottom because they are going to shade the other things. I've learned that. We will take that for next year. I'm not moving any of this stuff this year. I'm telling you that right now. There is some fennel in here. There's some celosia in here. More fennel. Pretty sure that's a basil. Yeah, that's an Italian large leaf. I never have success growing these in my bed, so I am hopeful. I'm very, very hopeful. This is Genevieve's, but this is the one I don't have success in my bed. Hopeful the green stalk will help with that. Oh, there's also some empty pockets in here. Not sure what was in there, but we're going to replace them. We have calendula in here. I'm trying to put calendula anywhere I can. The stevia that a subscriber gave to me, so that's in the green stalk too. I want to say this is lemon basil. It's another one up here. I'm going to top these so that they're way more bushy. I just haven't gotten around to it, but this green stalk is looking really good and I'm happy to have it. Very happy to have it. By the way, the yellow green stalk is going to be a herb green stalk. So it's like right in the front of the garden. If I need herbs when I'm cooking, I could come out of the door through the laundry room, grab my herbs and go back in the house, as opposed to having to walk all the way through the garden to go and get a herb from somewhere. Also, any herbs that are perennial, that are in any of the other green stalks, I'm planning to move them to this green stalk. So I haven't got it planted yet. I wanted to get it set up yesterday so that when it stormed, the rain could water that soil for me, and it worked. All right, so this is the lilac one. This is the first one I ever purchased. I am now affiliated with Green Stalk, but the lilac one is the one that I purchased, the one I was posted about, the one that allowed Green Stalk to find me, I guess. And so the lilac is the one that I've purchased. The tops, I really like having the tops. I think, for one, they're cute. They're just cute, and I like cute. Y'all know, like, I garden for food, but food is not my, like, whole thing. I also want it to be a pretty space, like a secret garden, and that's what I think I'm working towards back here. So yeah, I have purchased the tops. When I am able, I will purchase the top for the yellow one too. Want them all to have tops on them because it's just pretty. And it keeps any like tree leaves and all of that stuff out because there are tiny little holes in the top, and that's how it's getting watered. So it also does that too, aside from being pretty. So this is the first one I ever planted. We have patio variety. Somebody said those patio tomatoes get huge. You were not wrong. They are huge. Because I have the T-post beside it, this will never be a green stalk that has large tomato plants in it again. It's very hard for me to get turned, but that is because I have those stakes there for the other tomatoes. But y'all, it's so many tomatoes on these plants already. Like, look, it's tomatoes everywhere. And then this big old basil. The beans already have flowers on them in here. Parsley. I would venture to say that my marigolds are doing better in this green stalk than they are in the garden bed. We have another potato plant down here. So this whole bottom one is going to be filled with potatoes. We also have some thyme back here that looks really good. There's oregano in here somewhere. There's a basil plant right here. Oh, there goes the oregano. There's some more thyme. So this thyme and this oregano will go into the yellow green stalk too. This parsley will go in there. The fennel, because it's not perennial, that'll stay. There's more fennel down here. And then another potato plant, y'all. And another tomato plant. Look, oh my goodness. And I think that tomato right there might be blushing a little bit. And then we have some, what do you call these things? Chives. But I really just think they're getting shaded. They should have never been at the bottom of this green stalk. And that's fine. And there's more beans in there too. There's quite a few things in there. I love that thing. If it was the only thing I had to grow with, like if I didn't have the ability to have the garden beds, I think I would get a lot of food off of that one tower. I think somebody about to lay an egg. By the way, egg production is back to normal too. Thank goodness. I have one chicken that I still haven't seen lay since I've done this, but I'm watching her. But she's the one who also seemed like she was getting sick. So I think that she is just having to recoup. But I'm watching too for her eggs. The rest of them are laying again. Oh my goodness, y'all, I'm so happy. All right, on to the next green stalk. This is my green one. Down the bottom, we have cantaloupe, we have cucumbers that go all the way around. Oh yes, I have spinners for all of mine. I have to have spinners. Other than that, I won't be able to move them. I did not get the one with the wheels because I'm not going to be wheeling them anywhere. I think the one with the wheels is good. I just don't need it. So I don't have those. I just have the regular spinners. You also have a pepper plant in here. This came from Local Feed and Seed. These I started myself. These cantaloupe and cucumbers started myself. You also have yarrow in here. More peppers. Marjoram. So this marjoram will go into the yellow green stalk too. You have beans, sunflowers. I think the next two tiers are pretty much bean and sunflowers. You also have some more yarrow up at the top of this one, and then a sunflower. This is finally a teddy bear sunflower. It's like one that germinated. So I'm excited that I will have one teddy bear sunflower at least. And then there's some more beans, and oh, we had one purple rain tomato, and that's growing well too. Very nice green stalk as well, and it's looking real good. Okay, so that is inside the garden. That's if you walk up under this glorious grape trellis and you come in, that is what you're gonna see. And the garden is looking really good, y'all. I cannot complain. This is probably the best garden that I've had in years. I'm pretty sure it's because I have time to care for it and I have time to think through it and all of the things. But yeah, let's look at this orchard area from the outside. We are starting to see a little bit of disease on the apple tree. Don't know why. It's okay, just like years before. Now, what I will say, it's not as bad as years before. So maybe this tree is getting established. Now, what I plan to do, if you see down here, we got pieces of like branches that's growing out. I'm gonna cut this tree way back this year, probably to like way down here. I want it to be a shorter tree, number one. Number two, I want it to be a shorter tree. That's why I'm gonna do it, y'all. Y'all, look at all these peaches. They gonna start dropping themselves, I'm sure. It's just way too many. It's way too many on this one tree. Like a whole bunch of peaches on this tree. But they'll drop, and then I'll take what it gives me. Also, the grapevine, gotta get into the inside. Listen, I have started using the grapevine to trellis the mugwort at this point. That grapevine is just gonna do what it wanna do. And we're still early in the season. Think about when we get like into midsummer. This grapevine gonna be wild. But I have been using the tomato clips, the things that I'm using for the tomato clips, to kind of clip it into the bush. Because at this point, there's a whole bush, which I love. I actually love it. I know you're supposed to like trim your grapevine. I didn't, and that's how this happened. But I actually love it. It's like a wall. I love it, y'all. Anyway, like you see the mugwort? I have it attached to the trellis, but I also have it attached to the grapevine in the inside. And this is the lavender I was telling y'all about, which you normally can't see because the mugwort is laying on it. But that's the lavender, but it's very much shaded. Oh, also, this is a tree collar, and it's giving me the sides, so I left it, like the little side shoots that I'm gonna use to make other plants. So I left it. This rosemary is getting like ginormous down here. The oregano, the one that I thought wasn't gonna completely come back, it's starting to spread again. So I'm excited about that. We have more comfrey, probably could go ahead and try to make some more comfrey tea. You have some thyme down there that's starting to look better. There's more oregano up under this comfrey. My fig tree is looking good. Remember I put this in last year? I don't have any figs on it, but like the tree itself is looking really good, y'all. Then there's some sage over here and more comfrey, and then a whole bunch of weeds. This is in ground, so the trees are in ground, the fig tree is in ground, the herbs are in ground, everything is in ground over here. And looky, most of my roses have died, but this one was like, hey girl. And I was excited to see her. Most of them died, and then of course we had storms, like just storms everywhere. Then, see right there, you have feverfew flowers, so those are growing too. Oh, and that comfrey's still in a bucket, y'all. It's very unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. All right, let's look at the citrus. This lime, I think I'm gonna get a lime this year, y'all. It's the only one I think I'm gonna get this year, but it's fine. Y'all see them flowers? They kind of everywhere. And this one, I don't know if it got pollinated, but that's going to be a lime if it did, y'all. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. It is a bunch of flowers on there. It's a bunch of them on there. But the rest of them, they are getting established, but they are not giving me any flowers, which is fine. And I know somebody probably gonna say, pull them flowers off. I'm not pulling them flowers off. If I get a lime, I'm getting a lime. And then this is our blood orange. We definitely get new leaves. Love that for me. That's a calamondin. Looking real good. It looked good. This is our variegated pink lemon tree. So we get new leaves on there too. Love that for me. And then this is the Meyer lemon, I believe. Meyer lemon still not look like it's doing too much. But it's okay. We're going to leave it alone. We're going to leave it alone. A few people have asked me, will I be taking these in during the winter? I have to. They will die if I don't. So yes, all of these are going to go inside in the winter. I am also looking for plastic pots that I like because they cannot stay in these grow bags. This was temporary solution for me to get them planted out because I had the grow bags, but I'm now looking for some black pots that I really, well, they don't even have to be black because I'm also thinking about the whiskey barrels, but those things are expensive. So, yeah, I'm looking for something that I'm going to like right here. Also something that I'm going to be able to move in and out easily for winter. But yes, I am going to move these in and out. And then remember, we got a tomato over here in the Vigo pot. So that is doing really well. It is a Cherokee purple. And that's my favorite tomato. So I put it over here. It's doing real good. And I don't have to worry about staking it or anything. Another thing that I had to do is I moved that watermelon because remember we had to move 2 purple bags. I moved the watermelon over here and I moved the moringa over here. So we'll see how they work out. If they're not getting enough sun, I will have to find another spot back in the garden for them. But yesterday when I was putting my green stock up, that seemed like my best option. All right, so the last place we are going, is into the greenhouse, which is looking amazing, but there are some changes in here. Nothing too big, and I forgot to tell you about them when I was out in the garden, but anywho, let's go in here. Y'all, no matter how many times I cut it back, it just grow back. Look at this. It's still right back into the walkway. Ooh, I hadn't seen that pretty flower that had opened already this morning. Super pretty, but we have, and I also didn't keep up with tying these up, so still it's hanging over. I need to come in, but we have a, yep, there we go. We have a zucchini in here. You see it? I hand pollinated it yesterday, but let's go in here, y'all. Let's go in here. Gonna let you see that bed from the back. We also have a squash in here. You see it? Nice squash right there. We have another one coming. I think I pollinated that yesterday, hand pollinated it. But yeah, everything in here, especially in this bed, is doing well. But I think because this bed is doing so well, the other beds are not, because they're not being able to get sun because the zucchini and the squash is taking all of the sun. If I knew this was going to work, I would have did this whole greenhouse in zucchini and squash and then replanted it once they died out or once the vine borers got them. But that's good to know for next year. What you will notice is I've taken the onions out of here. They were not thriving. So even if I don't get bulbs of onions, I can get some green onions. But they weren't even going to give me a good amount of green onions. So I put them out in the holes of the bricks, and I forgot to show y'all that. But that's where they moved to. And so right now we have the peppers. Remember, we had put peppers in here, and we have the beans that's kind of moving up the trellis. This one is. These just started to wrap around each other. So I'm gonna let them go for what they know. But yeah, we moved all of the onions out. And then up here, we still have that yellow squash, but I just don't think it's getting enough sun. The basil, I don't think it's getting enough sun. But the cucumbers are fighting their way up the trellis. They was like, oh, we gonna grow. So, well, up the stakes. I don't have a trellis on them because I didn't realize they were cucumbers. I thought they were squash. So that was my only option at the time, was to put them on some bamboo stakes. Seem to be doing just fine. The tomatoes in here, I'm just pretty sure that they're not getting enough sun right now either because of the squash. But we do have a few flowers on them. But we'll see what happens once the squash is done. But I'm not taking this squash out until it is done, y'all. And there go another one. I need to hand pollinate that because I know that I didn't. Oh, and another one right there. I didn't hand pollinate either one of those. So I need to do that once we finish this garden tour. And then the bed back here, this little tiny squash plant is trying to give me squash. You see it? But I think that this bed also does not get enough sun, but it's like way in the back. So yeah, and remember that little tiny pepper is still tiny. So what I'm thinking is this is gonna end up being lettuce. Like for most years, this is gonna be lettuce because I just don't think it gets nearly enough sun to grow other plants. All right, so that is the garden tour today. Oh, wait a minute, let me show y'all this real quick. Baby, what in the world? It don't wanna die, it's not gonna die. That's that stinging nettle. So it's filling up this tote, and so this is where it's gonna live for the rest of its life, right there in this tote. There goes the chickens again. I know people like to see them. I know they like to see them. So there they are. Somebody is somewhere, probably in the coop, but y'all know I've been watching them. I've been watching them like a hawk. This is the one that I thought was sick right here. But if she's getting better. So that's the garden tour for today. This is week 4, I think, of garden tours. And so I'm excited to be showing it. I'm excited to have something that I can go back to. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram where I post about the things going on in my garden almost every day. Bye, y'all.